I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Had the perfect life until his best friend framed him.
You're under arrest.
There will be justice.
Now, 10 years of training.
Good. Too good.
And 5 years of planning.
I will change my identity. I shall become a count.
All come down to one moment. Jim Caviezel, Guy Pearce, Richard Harris.
How did you ever call yourself my friend?
The Count of Monte Cristo, rated PG-13, starts January 25th.
Hey, Matt, once again, welcome back to another review. This is a paid request from Jeremy. Thank you so much for that. Thank you to everyone who has sent me requests for whether it be reviews, re-reviews, commentaries, movie topics, what have you, whether directly via my PayPal or joining my Patreon and certain to use certain things. I really appreciate people who have done that. If you're ever interested, anyone watching this, the links are down below in the info box. If not, no worries. But Jeremy wanted me to review the Count of Monte Cristo from 2002, which I've heard of this film, but I had never seen it until now. And overall, I would say it was an okay movie. I mean, I don't know if I would ever see it again. Not because it's a bad movie. I don't see anything remotely memorable, but it's a fine time waster. I don't know if that makes sense. It stars Jim Caviezel and Guy Pearce, who are two good actors, and they do a nice job here. Other people in the cast, you have folks like Luis Guzman. The idea of the film, the plot of the film, of course based on the story of old, but we did a setup of Jim Caviezel, Guy Pearce, them being friends. I don't want to give everything away for people who haven't seen it yet, because I'm trying to do a better job of that, but I'll fail from time to time. One thing leads to another. Jim Caviezel is doing well in his life. He's got a fiance, he's got success, and his buddy, Guy Pearce, is envious of that. So Guy Pearce and these other people who have their own things to gain from this all work together in this little conspiracy to get Jim Caviezel's character sentenced to prison. And actually, Michael Wincott has a small appearance here as a guy who runs this prison. And for years, Jim Caviezel's character's in this prison, and he meets this old man who's another prisoner. And actually, this guy, he tried to escape, but he went the wrong way underground. So now he needs his help to go the other way, and in exchange, A, escape freedom, and B, he's going to teach Jim Caviezel everything he needs to know to read, to write, knowledge on economics, as well as there is a treasure out there. It's like, hey, you can help me, we can both be free, and I can help you with your revenge. So you could be this sophisticated guy, you do all this stuff. I could even teach you how to fight and parry. And one thing leads to another. Jim Caviezel escapes, meets Luis Guzman. Then the two of them find this treasure that the old man had this map to. And as Luis Guzman asks, what do you want to buy? And I teased Jim Caviezel as JC because he played JC, the other JC, in Passion of the Christ. So he's like, what would JC do? Revenge. And using his newfound wealth and his education, he establishes himself as the Count of Monte Cristo, and he's hot teen shit. And his fiance is now with Guy Pearce's character, and there's a teenage kid played by Henry Cavill, who will later be Superman and Man of Steel and the other Zack Snyder films. And I thought it was a well-filmed, it was a good-looking flick. The landscapes. The story was interesting enough to make me go, well, what's going to happen next? I thought Jim Caviezel and Guy Pearce do a good job acting. It's trying to be an old-fashioned, little bit of swashbuckling, little bit of adventure. Nothing big, humongous in the terms of set pieces, but efficient enough that I wouldn't say I was bored with it. It was one of those stories where as I'm watching, I'm going, okay, this is one of those movies that it works fine. It's a rainy afternoon. You're flipping through cable. You leave it on there. And again, the story was interesting enough. I care for Jim Caviezel's character. Ready for him to get his revenge. He does so. He either manipulates the scenes. One person to get revenge on him. He's gets him to admit the conspiracy to commit murder. A little bit of fighting with one person. His duel, Guy Pearce at the end. I mean, overall, it is a time waster of a movie. It's a movie that, like I said, I can't think of anything tremendously memorable in terms of, oh my god, that's an amazing action sequence, or oh my god, the story is deathly original. I mean, it's not original. I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but that's what I mean. It's nothing. It was efficient, but I didn't find anything special about it, if that makes sense. I mean, it's based on the adventure novel by Alexandre Dumas in 1844. I forget who directed this. Let me check real quick. This is 7.8 on IMDb. I mean, I think that's a bit too high. I would not nearly put it as high as that. Again, I guess if you're a big fan of the novel, I don't know if this is close to the source material. I haven't seen the other iterations. I believe there's a miniseries. There was a film version in the 70s. Oh, that's right. Kevin Reynolds directed this. He did Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which that one I would put above this. That one I felt a bit more and with the set pieces and the adventure aspect, and the characters had a little bit more personality to them, whether it be their sense of humor or Kevin Costner, Morgan Freeman, their repertoire. And of course, Guy Pearce does a good job, but Alan Rickman's just deliciously evil. Why a spoon? 'Cause it'll hurt more. And Michael Wincott was in that movie too. Kevin Reynolds, I would say that's the best film he's done, is Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Rapa Nui I've never seen. Waterworld. I don't mind Waterworld. 187. I rant on that on the channel. I was not a fan of that. I think that's the worst Kevin Reynolds film. This movie, I haven't seen the films he's done since. I mean, like I said, it's I guess old-fashioned, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. But it's one of those things where, like I say, it's a decent film. If you like the old school, little bit of swashbuckling, little bit of finding treasure, conspiracy, trying to get sweet revenge. It's just nothing that follows the general plot of the novel, but many elements, including the relationships between major characters in the ending, were modified, simplified, added, or removed. Okay, so I guess it's not like the novel. I mean, I'm sorry I'm not saying much, just when I watched the film I went, that was kind of the reaction I had. Not bad. It was decent. I don't really have anything that awful to say about it, but I just don't see myself ever picking this up on DVD, or if I have the Blu-ray, I would never see myself watching this again. I would either rather watch Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, or some other swashbuckler movies of that type, or other adventure movies like Indiana Jones films, or National Treasure, or other more, I guess, popcorn adventure films. Maybe this one's a bit more sophisticated than those, and it's definitely not as bad as some of the other films I've seen recently. Granted, they're different genres. I mean, after you see films like Pocket Ninjas and Nemesis 5 and Amazing Bulk and Die Hard Dracula, then you see a film like this and you go, oh, okay, it's well directed, it's a good looking film, the cast do their jobs well, the bits of action there are handled perfectly fine. If you like that time period, which is a time period Napoleon. In fact, the Napoleon character does play a part in this film, at least early on. It's not that Napoleon built this adventure. He's not going to see him go bowling. With that said, though, not a bad film. I'm glad I saw it once. Like I said, I didn't see it again, but I'm glad I saw it once. I can't remember who did the musical score. The score wasn't that bad. Wasn't too bad of a score. But yeah, I just be repeating myself. I'm sorry it's not much of a review, Jeremy. I didn't mind it. I thought it was a pretty decent film. And I didn't want to give everything away. But yeah, if you watch the trailer, it interests you, there's a lot worse ways you can spend your time. I'd rather watch this than Barry Lyndon. I'd rather watch this 10 times over Barry Lyndon. At least the story was interesting enough. At least the lead character, Jim Caviezel, was likable enough. You know, he's a decent, normal guy who gets fucked over by his buddy because he's a selfish prick, envious prick. And the guy gets his just desserts. And Kevin Reynolds, other than 187, he's a pretty decent director of the stuff I've seen. Again, Waterworld I don't think is as bad as people make it out to be. I really do not. And I enjoyed Robin Hood. I haven't seen it in a while. I would like to see it again, but I want to see the theatrical cut, not the director's cut. I think the director's cut is the only one that's out there that you can find, at least easier. That's the sad thing on a tangent. A lot of theatrical cuts just lost. Like the theatrical cut of Friday with Chris Tucker, you can't find that on Blu-ray. It's only the director's cut. 1408, the cut with the good upbeat ending, which was in theaters. Nope, not on the Blu-ray. I mean, if you have the 2-disc or whatever, not 2-disc, but if you have one of the DVDs, sure, but theatrical cut of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, good luck finding that. Anyway, that's a tangent. Sorry about that. Thanks for watching. Take care. Yeah, not a bad film at all. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.